Luke from E&L Fishing. Just caught another bluegill on a bed. I'm just bed fishing bluegill. I caught an 8.5 incher and probably an 8. I'll get back to you if I catch any more. There we go. Not too big. I'll let this one go. Smaller one. Another little one. Right on the bed. You'll be a keeper. Yeah, I'll keep him anyhow. I saw this big fat bullhead on a bed, probably taking the eggs. Pretty big actually, not very long, but he's fat. Big yellow belly. I'll get back to you if I get any more. It's Luke from E&L Fishing, and I'm going to explain how I was catching the bluegill off the beds in the previous footage you just watched. I was using a small jig head, just a small white one. It was probably a 1/64 ounce or even smaller. I had that rigged on with a worm because they were not hitting artificial. I was casting small white grubs and also my go-to panfish lure, beetle critters, and they would tap it barely, like none of the bait actually went in its mouth. So I tried to worm because that's what I've always had luck with when they're spawning, and I was catching a lot. The biggest was 8.5 inches, and I probably missed another one, but that's on a different way. I had that actually rigged on this jig head with a minnow, a small minnow, and as soon as it landed on that bed, the minnow just started swimming back and forth, and sure enough it just smacked it, but the gap's not wide enough on this jig and I didn't get a good hook set in, so it got off, and I didn't have any other minnows, so that's why I would also use maybe a not a big hook, but big enough for a bluegill where there's a decent gap on it, and put a split shot a few inches above it and try that out. Otherwise, I was using a small ultralight cardinal reel. I like those cardinals, and also 4-pound test. Cast past the beds and then reel right up and let it. Sometimes I let it sink on the bed and then twitched it a few times on it, and it was deadly. I was catching fish quite often on it. I didn't get every fish on video, but I got enough.